Hey everybody, John Malanca here with my wonderful co-host, Natasha Trenev. Great to see you, Natasha.
Excellent to see you, John. And we're getting ready for holiday celebrations.
It is the ho 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 holiday celebration time of year, and the topic that actually was submitted to us and has been not only this time of year but throughout the year: the truth about alcohol, dangers of holiday overindulgence. And so we're not here to slap anybody's hands because it is the holiday season, and a lot of us are guilty of overeating and over consuming of alcohol, and the next day feeling a little bit, but alcohol in general, can play havoc on a lot of people's bodies. Not only with alcohol poisoning if you have too much, but this time of year, weakened immune system is impacted, mental health, of course, dehydration and hangovers. You have too much weight gain since we're eating that extra brownie or cupcake or cookie in the office, break room, but also liver damage, and then impaired sleep is just a little of a few that really come to mind when it comes to overindulgence of alcohol, and then also what it's doing to your gut. And so who better to have here to talk about the gut is the mother of probiotics, Natasha. So have at it, Natasha.
Yeah, well, good. I think, again, we're not preaching here to people. We're not telling you it's right and wrong. I believe strongly informing people of the facts and the information, and they make their own decision. Firstly, alcohol is produced by yeast as a weapon against competitors. The microbial world is very competitive, and they produce substances to get rid of competition. So most people don't know that yeast produce alcohol to kill other bacteria and to eliminate competition. Hence, that's why you have alcohol swabs before you get an injection. People never even give it a second thought. So this is what you need to know, that alcohol is a toxic substance, is a class A carcinogen, and it's something that your body has a trouble and a great deal of problems handling it, and especially breaking it down, because it is a toxin. And women especially are more prone to being damaged by alcohol because we have less of the enzymes than our male counterparts to deal with alcohol in our bodies. So alcohol is designed to kill bacteria. Therefore, not only will some bad bacteria get killed, a lot of your good bacteria will get killed. So what happens is that now you have alcohol stimulation of digestion. And so your stomach is going to be pouring out stomach acid. You're going to feel bad, so you're going to take something to neutralize the acid, which in itself will give you relief, but will allow more bacteria and more yeast to get inside of your intestinal tract, where it can do more harm. And if you are very susceptible, one of the extreme things that can happen to you is that the yeast can actually start a microbrewery inside your intestinal tract and produce alcohol. And every microorganism is opportunistic. People just think that pathogens are opportunistic, but even friendly yeast can become opportunistic because, remember, their primal directive in life is to thrive and control their territory. So it's rather naive for us to think that, I'm going to take care of it. And especially now, since we have so many foods that are filled with toxins. And to my horror, yesterday, somebody dropped off a bag of cookies, and I read the ingredients, and right there in plain language contains GMO-generated products. And I said, well, if alcohol is not only a sterilizing agent, guess what? It's also an agent that helps us absorb more things, whether they're toxic or not. So now you have a lot of problems. And then since your body or your intestinal tract can't break it down, it goes to the liver. And the liver is now struggling because it is a potent toxin to detoxify it and try to get it out. So what do you do during the holidays if you want to overindulge in eating and drinking? My suggestion is to be smart. And I tell people, take one of our healthy trinities, which you can see the labor hill, once in the morning. You can even do it 3 times a day. Twice a day is recommended, but 3 times if you're really going to be abusing your system. And then, take this bifidobacter in addition, because remember, you've got 27 feet of GI tract. And I've developed these products to cover those 27 feet. And I deliberately made different delivery systems so that these bacteria can go where they're supposed to go and really help you. So if you're planning on overindulging or even a little indulgence over the holiday, this is the time to take more, not less, because you're not wasting your money. Believe me, your body's going to need the help, especially if you're going to have a few drinks, because your liver is going to say, oh my God, what do I do with this toxins? So in addition to taking one of the Healthy Trinity twice a day, possibly 3 times a day, you can take this in a powdered form. It's dairy-free. It's a vegan product. You can take 2 capsules of the bifidobacter in the morning and take 4 of them at night, along with your Healthy Trinity, because we are exposed to a very toxic environment. And I'm recommending more use of the products than less, because we're dealing with things that I don't even know about yet and that we've been exposed to. And remember, alcohol amplifies the absorption, good or bad stuff. So we have to really try to protect our body, because the last thing we want is the destruction of our bifidobacteria in the large intestine, so that our immunity is compromised and we're sitting ducks for anything that's in the air or somebody else is carrying to infect us with something very undesirable.
Yeah, I'm glad. Thank you for that information, and 2, I'm glad that because I know you get this call quite a bit. On the bottle it says take one a day. I'm someone who takes three times a day. And depending if I go out and have a big meal, I will add to that as well. Can you also talk about? You mentioned about the cookies, and during this holiday season, which I normally don't do throughout the year. I've had chocolate chip cookies. I've had, people have brought stuff to the office, and of course I'm indulging with that. But can you talk about the combination of not only sugar from the alcohol, but sugar from sweets, the holiday sweets, and what that does not only for inflammation in the body, how it can affect sleep, but even further what it's doing to your gut and liver?
Yeah. Well, remember, there are articles that, proclaim and showed many studies that show that sugar is connected to the growth of cancer cells.
Yeah.
And my belief is that from the 40 or plus years that I've been studying this area, it's probably because the sugar stimulates the growth of friendly and unfriendly yeast. Yeah. And it definitely can trigger the growth of cancerous cells. Whether or not your immune system is strong enough to handle it really depends on the individual's health position. So we know a lot of organs are being, attacked now, especially pancreatic cancer has really exploded in the last 20 years. And remember, the pancreas is very essential in neutralizing blood sugar levels and handling that by producing insulin. So it's one of the favorite targets of yeast or other bacteria that don't want that sugar neutralized but want it for themselves. And I'm giving a very simplistic answer because I want people to understand what I'm talking about. And so when you're consuming a lot of sugar and adding alcohol to it, that's like adding a fuel into a fire. And so it just really becomes explosive. And so people don't realize that your body is a biological system. It has to coexist with the bacteria and the nourishment and the food without disturbing your immune system, which about 70 to 80% of your immune cells on your GI wall. So having said that, now why does it affect sleep? Because the liver is one of the organs that's responsible for controlling our cycles. And the sleep cycle is disturbed because if the liver is overburdened, you're not going to get a good night of sleep. So that's why I recommend extra bifidobacter along with a Healthy Trinity at night, especially if you overindulge, because your liver is going to be struggling all night. And not only are you going to feel bad during the night, but you're going to feel even worse in the morning. So if you want to avoid that, what I call feeling like you want to be dead or you've been run over by a 16-wheeler, I suggest you take some proactive measures so that you suffer less and help your body deal with the onslaught of things that it usually doesn't get.
I thought you were going to say run over by a reindeer. That would have been perfect for this holiday season. So, but what you mentioned, that's my nightly cocktail, Healthy Trinity and Bifido. And so your Bifido factor. And so I'm glad you mentioned that. Before we go, wine, cocktail versus champagne with the effervescence and how that affects not only the human, but man versus woman when it comes to that. Can you touch up on that?
Right. First of all, anything that's effervescent means that it's going to be absorbed by the body quicker. So even though that champagne may have less percentage of alcohol, whatever alcohol percentage is there is going to be rapidly assimilated because of the effervescence. And because women have less of the enzymes to deal with that, we can become intoxicated much quicker than a man. Unfortunately, that's part of the deal here. That we don't have those enzymes that can deal well with alcohol. And it's a general statement, so just made here so that you think about what you have, because people can have one glass of champagne and become intoxicated, whereas they can have hard alcohol and not become so quickly intoxicated. It just depends on your individual ability to handle it.
Yeah. Last week we spoke about preparation. If you knew you're coming up to the holiday season, leading up to that, and getting your body and your gut prepared for overindulgence of not only rich foods, sweet food, but also alcohol. Can you touch up on that? You were talking about leading up to the night you go out.
Remember, you have an extremely complex ecosystem in your GI tract and everywhere throughout your body. You have bacteria and microorganisms inside of your bloodstream. So what I tell people is prepare. It's like preparing a support system or a protective system for your GI tract, which is about to be assaulted by food that doesn't possibly get digested properly, and alcohol on top of that. So I would say at least a week or two before, depending on your susceptibility, start by taking 2 of the Healthy Trinities a day. If you're having problems sleeping at night, add the Bifido. And especially take extra before you go to your holiday meals where you're going to drink and eat a lot, because your body and your whole system will be overwhelmed with too many things to deal with and detoxify the body from. And
so take extra prior, and then what about post when we're returning home? I know what I do. Yeah. So if you can share.
Right. Prior is to protect you, and post is to help get rid of the junk.
Good. So, well, good. Always a wealth of information. Wishing you and your family, Natasha, a happy holiday and Merry Christmas. And to our Natron family and our listeners and followers, Natasha and I both wish you a Merry Christmas and a happy holiday and a safe holiday to you and your family as well.
All is well.
All is well. Thank you. Bye-bye.